Okay, hi, this is Ushio, and welcome back to Angels with Scaly Wings. And we have now got a completed dragon, Bryce, good and bad endings done. So I think I want to save the good endings for last. So next is either Remy and Anna. So yeah, let's see how we go. Anna's a tricky one. I do struggle to get her endings. So one of these two, let's see what happens next. I'm going to skip everything I've done before, including on the final chapter. So on chapter 5, we're only going to look at the stuff that's new. So I'm not going to read all that stuff out when Rez is going on about how wonderful he is. We're just going to go to the new bits, and I will see you there. Okay, we are on chapter 5, and we are about to try and do Remy's bad ending. So hopefully I've made all the right decisions. Basically there's a point where you're looking at his family photos, and if you ask him about the photos, you get the good ending. If you don't ask him about the photos, then I'm hoping it will default to the bad ending. Okay, here comes Reza. What are you going to do? You can't stop me now. But maybe I can. Maverick and Remy appeared next to me. What's going on? You planned this, didn't you? You traitor. And to think I let you distract me with such a cheap trick, just because I thought there was still a shred of humanity within you. He pulled out a gun, not sure who to aim at. Let me go and I'll forget this happened. You got 6 bullets for 3 people. Do you think you can really do that, Reza? Do you think it's worth risking your life for? Look at Remy's face. He's so uncomfortable. I've been risking my life for this every day for the last 2 weeks. What did you do during that time? Sip champagne in your nice apartment? Yep. Besides, this generator and the whole building came from our time, and so they belong to humanity. Suddenly, the administrator came out of the shadows in the hallway behind Reza. Nah, they belong to me. Confused, Reza spun around, aiming his gun at the newcomer who was slowly walking toward him. Who the fuck are you? You want to waste your bullets on me? Feel free. Can't stop everyone. If you say so. Bam. And there she drops. He pulled the trigger, and the administrator fell to the ground with a dull thud that knocked her mask off. So she is down and out. Okay, now what happens? Mortified by the display before me, I found myself unable to move. The events of the following seconds unfolded before my eyes. Oh shit, Remy's gone. Reza was quick with his gun and shot Remy once before Maverick could charge him. Oh man. Oh, Maverick pounced, snarling, and knocked Reza to the ground before embedding his teeth into the body before him. Despite his thrashing and screaming, Reza managed to find his target and pulled the trigger twice. Immediately, the jaws dislodged. Reza pulled himself a few feet away while Maverick's body convulsed uncontrollably. Holding his bleeding wound and breathing heavily, Reza looks at me. You're not going to help me, are you? Then it is futile. He raised his gun, aiming at me while I regained my composure and tried to run. Oh, he's shooting at me. A single gunshot resounded through the hallway, and as soon as I heard it, a sharp pain shot through my back. I fell to the ground immediately. He continued pulling the trigger, but no more bullets came. After a few seconds of silence, I slowly turned around. Oh, he's collapsed. Reza was leaning against the wall, his head slumped forward, lifelessly. Maverick's not doing too well either. And the administrator. Yep, everyone's getting shot. Maverick and the administrator, both lying in a pool of their own blood while not moving. I crawled over to Remy and was glad to hear him breathing. He'd been hit in the side, and I saw blood trickling from the wound onto the ground below him. He raised his head, looking at me with an expression of pain. You're wounded, so are you. Gotta stop that bleeding though. I put some pressure on his wound, momentarily halting the blood that was trickling down his body. Can you do this? Let me try, alright. He felt around his side, trying to get the right grip before he applied pressure on his own. I let go, and after a bit of adjustment, Remy could stop the bleeding on his own for now. I took off my shirt and briefly considered whether I'd be able to use it to dress Remy's wound, but I soon realised it was not long enough to wrap around him properly. Besides, if he couldn't walk for now, it would not make a difference anyway, and he'd have to stay here while he held his wound shut. Instead, I used the shirt to curb my own bleeding, folding it and wrapping it around my abdomen tightly. Okay, Reza's gone, and that other person. Remy was right, both Reza and the administrator were gone. You gotta go stop him. I gotta find you some help first, I can't leave you like this. Don't you dare tell me you would be doing me favours by saving me. If it's just gonna be one of us, I don't want it to be me. Okay. You don't know how it is to live every day as I have, always wondering if the pain will ever stop, or if things will ever change again. And when they finally do, you come along and tell me this, don't do that to me. I'm not going to go through this again. Okay, so what do you want me to do? This is bigger than us. It's bigger than me. Just go. Go and stop Reza. Okay. Let's go stop him. I hobbled to my feet and made my way back outside, just in time to see Reza vanishing through the portal. He's out. He is gone. That's not good. I made my way back to Remy to look for something to treat his wound. Given everything that had just transpired, I had no idea what was going to happen. I also wondered where the administrator had gone. I checked a few of the rooms and even found a first aid kit that I used to treat both of us. Soon, however, I heard steps behind me. As I turned around, I was surprised to see another human face. It was a soldier. Who are you? What are you doing here? I asked him. We're here to save you. Reza told us about everything, he replied. I didn't know what Reza had told him, but I certainly didn't want us to leave yet. I tried to protest and told them about Remy, and the soldier let me know that they would take care of it. For now, however, their orders were clear, and I was to come with them immediately. Another soldier arrived and took the generator with him. Then they escorted me back through the portal. After all this time, I wondered what would happen now to our world and the dragons. I arrived on the other side, only to be met by a team of EMTs who were already expecting me. I was urged to lay down in a cot, which was quickly transported into the back of an ambulance. They took off my bandages and examined my wounds as I heard them calling out medical terms I didn't understand. A breathing mask was put on me and soon I lost consciousness. I wasn't sure what exactly Reza had told them, but with him dead and me wounded, humanity decided to take what they thought was theirs by force, which included the underground building itself. Hoping for a diplomatic solution, the dragons retreated and borders were established, all within a matter of days. The thousands of people living in our city were quickly relocated. For them, it was a better solution than any other. Here, they had an already working infrastructure, buildings, and things looked just like they used to. When I awoke from my induced coma, it was with the expected dose of confusion as I had to realise the place was deserted. And it hadn't been just a building, it was the entire city. Everyone was gone. Whatever Reza had told humanity had been enough for him to ultimately decide to leave me behind as a traitor while they sought out their promised land. To their credit, they could have killed me, but just leaving me behind and to my own devices was exactly the kind of punishment I would expect from them. I wasn't even sure how much time had passed since I returned. While they had permanently disabled the portal, I was at least able to find plenty of supplies they had left behind as I roamed the city to make a new life for myself. After a few days of checking building after building and getting to know my new surroundings, I was surprised to see a shadow flying overhead. It was a dragon. This is cool. This is the first time we've seen humanity's world. Everything's been in the dragon's world till this point. Hey, down here, blinded by the sun, I couldn't quite make out the dragon before it landed and approached. It was Remy. Yo, what are you doing here? I've been looking for you for the last few days. Honestly, I wasn't sure whether I was going to find you at all. I don't even know how long it's been since I last saw you. It must have been a few weeks. Okay, why did you come here? We need you. You have to tell them what really happened, what Reza did and everything else. After you went back, the soldiers found me and I was interrogated. When they were negotiating with our council, they realised that Reza's account of what happened here differed a lot from what really went down. Of course there are a lot of blanks they need to fill in too. They need to find someone who's willing to go back to find you, and so I did. Besides, I owed it to you for everything you've done for me. Remy, I guess they realised the error they made by leaving you behind, but now all of us need you as a witness. You must tell them the truth. Okay, so how's your wound? It's fine, I was patched up pretty well, all things considered, and you can still fly, so you must be pretty decent. Come on, no time to lose. The portal was just around the corner, but how are we going to get back? They deactivated it. I know, that's why they gave me something to repair it. Well, let's go then. A few minutes later, we arrived at the portal. I thought about alternative options, considering we would be able to use it now. Time travel came to my mind, and while I knew about the portal's capabilities to do so, I had no idea how. Either way, I would do what I could to make things right. I watched as Remy reactivated the portal, using its interfaces with his somewhat clumsy paws. Something's not right. I can't find the other portal. A terrible realisation hit me as I considered, hoped for other possibilities. You said it was a few weeks since I last saw you, right? And you've been looking for me for how long? A week? Yeah. Remy, I got some bad news. I think your world might have been destroyed. What is it? Suddenly, I heard someone approaching us from behind, and after I turned around, it was the administrator who stood before us. There she is. I finally found you. Come on, we need to go back. Back, they're all gone. What are you talking about? In the time you were here, The meteorite you knew about collided with Earth. The civilization you knew and the human settlement are no more. We've killed everyone! We're the last survivors! What? How? Reza knew this was going to happen. How ironic that Reza would drag himself through the portal in his gravely injured state to try and save humanity by telling him about the generator, you and the meteorite, only to fall on deaf ears about the last crucial part. Now they are all gone. I wasn't talking about returning to them, however, but going back to a time even before that, the day of your arrival. You want to use the portal for time travel. I knew about the possibilities, but doing it for real is fascinating. Can Remy come with us? Nope, it's complicated enough as it is. Then I'm not going. I don't think you realise what's at stake here. All the others you've met are dead. Their whole civilization was wiped out in one fell swoop, and their world lies in ashes. Only we can go back and try and prevent this from happening. Yeah, but it's okay. Go. You gotta save them. That is my utmost goal. Okay, I'll do it then. Okay, take your position then. Why can't Remy come? Okay, I stood in the middle of the portal, and after pressing a few buttons, the administrator joined me. Okay, so what should I call you? She looked at me with a mild expression of bewilderment. Now that you don't wear a mask anymore, we can do without the code name. Call me Isme. I could see the faintest hint of a smirk. Not that it matters much. Once we arrive on the other side, you probably won't remember a thing. Okay, as I heard the familiar sound of the portal starting up, the last thing I saw was Remy watching us as he slowly undid his tyre and slipped it off his neck. Oh, that was Remy's bad end. That was kind of cool. It fills in quite a few gaps on how the time travel system works. It's kind of interesting. But yeah, that was a good ending of sorts. And this is Ushio signing off, and hopefully I will see you next time.